makes the Galway hooker unique. I think it's the shape of the boat. Every square inch of the boat is always changing. There's nothing the same.
The history of the Galway hooker goes back a long time, centuries.
In and around 2008, Bádóirí on Clada had, as a community group, had existed for maybe 8 to 10 years prior to that. It had somewhat, it wasn't as active as it had started out, but there was a sort of a resurgence in and around 2008. During the construction of Crean Clada, we were so sure and so confident that our vision to rebuild the fleet could be done. We hired the local artist, Michael Devlin, and we asked him to look at the Spanish Arch and the scene from the Spanish Arch up to Jury's Hotel and insert 4 Galway hookers on that scene. So we did that, and we sort of used that beautiful photograph as a sort of template. But the story is much deeper than that and much more involved.
No one knows really where the model or the design of the traditional Galway hooker came from originally. The first mention in literature of the Galway hooker would be around the 1780s. No doubt the name hooker came from the hook and line of Hook of Holland, where they were used for hook and line fishing for centuries. I think the name was probably adapted then to our boats, but no one knows where the design of these boats came from, and there is no design like it anywhere else in the world, or at least the experts tell me that is so.
Yeah, this is a Galway hooker. This one is fairly much ready for completion. It's in the completion stage. It hasn't changed much after hundreds of years. It's unique to this west coast of Ireland. This west coast it's got a lot of inlets and shallow bays, so you need a boat that's adaptable for the conditions as far as a place for unloading turf or seaweed or what have you. So the boat has to be made specifically for the area that you work out of. But that's the way it was in the old days. You know. Now it's different now, where mostly these are used for pleasure, for sailing, racing, and what have you. So not so much for work anymore. But the overall boat hasn't changed as far as construction goes.
The boats were used for many things in their time. Vi siad gan uasaid mar hampla he iescoch, gmór iescoch, mar sinne and she behead vel hwan agus vi anlon like dina le he alone, le he fati agus iesk war geste. Níl moon bich gan chlár some moodling and burden no in Ilan Aran agus vi winter chonamara gehated a kunyal moona le Ilan Aran agus condan chlár. So vi dis mar baid moona no turfboats mar go dis op some erle. Agus wide on obwood na mar chole play le moon so go di hartar ni diag shaska. We nam sha vi budjel gas agus generators agus sort of turfat takri go di áitchir nos na Hilan. Rodelle vi na baid gan os dan in la hi famine go har jamshir na gogi ni vi duwain tiocht trasna go dtíon tíir seo agus bhí an éile bheith in neamhain bheith feamhain Thompson go cheannacht an gáile. So bhí na báid seo ag na siúpaí agus báidirí gobal roibh taran stuff siar agus a níor. So bhí obaid an Thompson go na báid, bhí siarháin, bhí na siarbád cruagach ag deasú na báid agus marsin. So bhí obaid gúna ag chulúna. Bhí an drama bhí díana na seolta, díana na spáraí, díana na blacanaí. So bhí obaid an sin go chulúna san Thompson nach diime an síl sin agus diime na báid beagnach. Mar fiúháin hartar ní deag 66 ní ach coplabád seoil fanta an Thompson.
Every boat builder makes the boat differently, and they're all done by eye, so there's no one or two that's exactly the same. We like to keep as authentic as possible. Most boats these days are fiberglass, but we stick to the tradition of timberwood. This one it's pretty much finished. Another couple of months, so we hope to be sailing it by the end of the year. This is the muller that we used to moor, tie the boat to the pier with this. They call them the muller, so it's the mooring point of the boat. They're often compared to a fine sized woman, where you have the curves are just right.
This boat, the Matkin Joe here behind us here, the rigging is going to be a big part of the boat to get the boat sailing, rigging, spars and sails. And just have a sample of blocks here, and we're going to be concentrating on the bigger ones, but as you can see there's a whole range of blocks. This is for the Glotio, the smaller version. So these three would be for the smaller Glotios up to about 28, 26, 27 feet. And you can see some of them have an eye, galvanised eye, set inside in the block. This one was made by a blacksmith. I was told back in Carn about 1920 by a blacksmith for a boat. These are the type of ones we'll be using now, where they house the strap inside, and you can still access the pin, service it, clean it, and you know if there's any sign of wear and tear. So they're different types of blocks.
When you see Galway hooker approaching, and you see the duck-like shape of the boat with the tumble home and the build of the boat, you know exactly that it is a Galway hooker.
How does it work? It works with a huge amount of voluntary time by the membership, a huge amount of inter-agency help, a host of volunteers. As I said, it just couldn't work without it. Mother Clada's vision for 2020 would be to have 14 boats, 14 of these traditional craft, sail on a regular basis, each one representing a tribe of Galway. And in doing so, it shows the important connection that these traditional Galway hookers had to the economy of the city.